Hello, it's DeeDee from UmWowStudio here, and we're going to do a quick rundown on the pieces that you may have purchased or you're interested in purchasing, or maybe you're taking the workshop that go along with these pieces to make the roloDEX tray. And the workshop is called Indexed with a period at the end. This kit, this particular Buildable for UmWowStudio comes with a few pieces. It comes with 9 pieces total. So there's a base piece, it looks like this, and it has these tracks. They look like tracks, these holes that are cut out in a linear formation across the middle from front to back. So this is the front, this is the back, and these are the 2 sides. 2 of the pieces that come look like this, where they have these small notches cut out in the bottom. So this is gonna butt up against these pieces like this, and where they're straight, it's gonna be the straight top of the tray. And I can show you actually, whoops, sorry, I need that to do this, but here is what the tray looks like. So see how it is flat along the top, and then along the bottom is where all the pieces fit in together. So this is the shorter ones are the front and back, and they'll clip in there. There's 2 longer ones without any extra notches. See how this has the extra notches? The sides just have the grooves to fit into the box specifically. The notches are for the track that we're creating in the roloDEX tray. And what happens is we make a track that has an insert point where your roloDEX cards fit in and then slide back, and they don't come out. Very similar to a regular or a vintage roloDEX tray, or I don't know, what are they called? But it's like a tumbler, like it spins, but anyways, the other 4 pieces, the last 4 pieces, are what make the track so that the cards don't just pull out on their own in your roloDEX tray. Now there are a whole slew of roloDEX cards available. You can check them out on the website. I'll put some links in the description box. And then of course the kits for Indexed are coming with a good selection of roloDEX cards in addition to your roloDEX tray as well. So these 4 pieces here, each one, so one of this and one of this, and then again the same, one of this and one of this, are going to fit into these slots to create your track. Before we get that far, I do have some paper towels and a squirt bottle, and I'm going to dampen my paper towel. The chipboard from UmWowStudio is laser cut, meaning it is cut with an actual laser. It's like a burning sensation or technique, and so there is ash on the edges of these pieces, and you'll notice it when you first open up a package of UmWowStudio chipboard. It's gonna have a burned smell to it. I like to take a wet paper towel or a baby wipe, or even like a wet cloth rag, and just dampen the edges of the chipboard pieces and wipe away the excess singe and soot that is there. I don't do this with every piece, although I will say every UmWowStudio piece of chipboard comes with this edge on it. When I'm working with shaped pieces like flowers and things like that, I usually just leave that singe. But because this is turning into a buildable, a piece of decor, and I'm going to be running a bunch of things around it, on it, through it, in it, I do just take a quick second and wipe off any of that excess soot that is there. Now, when it comes to regular UmWowStudio products, chipboard, and by that I just mean like shaped stuff, whether it's layered squares or it's some of the flora or fauna, or you know, any of the mashes, anything like that. If you're going to use them with photos or in any type of scrapbooking or memory saving, I would suggest to go ahead and wipe the singe and the soot off of those because you want your photos to stay as safe as possible. When I'm doing mixed media art, I don't pay that much attention to it. And in fact, sometimes like when I go to gesso a piece of chipboard, I really like how the singe looks when it gets mixed in with the gesso. But total personal preference, and this way you're aware that that's what is on the edges. It is ashy, it does get on your hands, it does mix with paint. So you can always just go ahead and give it a quick wipe and wipe that away if it bothers you. All right, so that's done. I am gonna set that squirt bottle to the side, and then I have some adhesive out here. So I am choosing Fabrifix because it's really permanent and it takes just a second to dry. So I personally, when I'm building something out of chipboard, I need something that's gonna tack it together and dry fairly quickly so I'm not sitting there holding it forever. But also, I don't want it to dry right away. I want to have enough time to fit the pieces together and then to make sure that they are in the right place. So it's funny, like I don't want it quick drying, but I don't want it to take forever to dry either. So I'm using Fabrifix. I love it. I've got this great glue stand. I leave that in there and it keeps the glue at the base. And for this particular buildable, the first thing I'm going to do is build the edge around it. It seems for me to work out easier this way. You may find building the track is easier for you. I think it's a personal preference. I think because the track pieces are so thin, they have a little bit of give to them and we aren't like kind of freaking out or having to worry about fitting them into a tight space. I do want to say when it comes to the track, these are the very top pieces. They're going to fit in, and you want this cutout to be in the same place on both tracks. So either both on the right or both on the left, but you can't have them opposite. Otherwise the cards won't go onto the track. Along with that, when you hold up this piece of the track, the bottom where all the my goodness, where all the teeth are the same, that fits down. And the part where there's a gap in one small tooth with the rest of the teeth, that goes up. All right? So keep those the same as well, because this piece will fit onto those pieces. And it doesn't matter if it's to the left or to the right, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. But we're gonna set those to the side. I've got my 2 short pieces and my 2 long pieces for the front, the back, and both sides. Take my glue off, and I'm going to put a little glue in each recess. And I don't even mind about getting some strings around or anything like that. I can always work on that a little bit later. And so the recess is going to go down on this tooth, but I know that this one is going to go inside that recess. So instead of putting it on all the recesses, since I already have this one out, I can flip this over and add a little bit of adhesive there for some extra stability. And currently, I'm not worrying about the sides of the sides because as I bring more pieces to my project, I can then take those into consideration. So for now, I'm only worrying about the adhesive that's going on this one piece and to the bottom. It just works out for me that way. So I'll leave that sit, and then I'm gonna get one of my small pieces, that's the front or the back, and I'll follow the same aspect. I'll put it on the recesses as much I can, and then I'm gonna put it on the glue on the teeth that are gonna touch the bottom. And now is where I take into consideration my side piece. So I'll go ahead and glue up that recess and that tooth. I'll put my adhesive back in its spot. And then I will clip all of this together. And I'm going to take a minute here and wipe off any of the excess glue that has decided to show through. But really what's more important to me is making sure that my corners come together nice and square. There we go. Bringing everything, giving it just a second, a little extra love there. And here we have 2 of our 4 sides. And I'll continue this all the way around. It really does not take an excessive amount of adhesive, which I find really nice. I also enjoy using the Fabrifix, Fabrifix, because in this case, it has a really fabulous thickness to it, and I can see exactly where it's going on my project. And I am a big fan of that. So very similarly to the first piece and second piece, I'm putting on my third. I put the adhesive in the recesses and on the teeth where it will touch other bits. And I'm making sure all my corners are nice and tight. And I hold it in place just probably 5 seconds, maybe 10 at the most. That glue starts to get tacky. I can wipe away any of the excess adhesive, flip it over, make sure there's not a ton seeping out. And now I have 3 of the 4 sides. And you can see that all my teeth are going in together along the bottom and coming up the sides, but the very top of the tray is flat. And last one for the sides here. Because I have 3 sides on now, I do have an extra recess and an extra tooth where this guy is going to clip in on both sides to complete the final countdown. No, just kidding. To complete the final side and bring my box together as a whole. And it will actually be a box now. All of those slide in. Make sure my corners are nice and tight and all my teeth are touching. Wipe away any excess glue that might be bothering me. And now our box has 4 sides. All right, then we get out our track pieces, and as I mentioned previously, these 2 pieces that have the teeth along the bottom are going to fit down into the box where the teeth match up. The break in the teeth with the small tooth to one side is going to go up, and it doesn't matter if they face left or right, you just have to make sure that they face the same the whole way, like both sides, 1 and 2. Just like before, I'm going to insert adhesive into these recessed pieces between the teeth, only on the bottom side currently. Whoops, sorry, I keep shaking the camera with my huge glue bottle. I apologize. Then let's see. In fact, and I apologize, I think it does matter which way this goes, but that's okay. It'll only fit one way. And you just kind of pop it down in there. There we go. And press it down in place. See how that fits in there? Nice and snug. Because it's a thin piece, you may have to just like curve it a little bit. Don't bend it, don't crease it, but it just pops in so nice and easy. And then now, one of our holes is plugged on this side and one of our holes is plugged on this side. And we do it again. And we're really close to having a finished roloDEX tray. And don't forget, these tracks, they need to be facing the same way. So wherever that little tooth is, that little sort of weird one at the front, just make sure the other one is there too. And as I sort of discovered during my design process, I think it only fits in one way. That seems kind of funny, but I designed it quite a few months ago at this point. But all right, now we have two, kind of like halves of the two tracks in. And then these are the caps, and they will go exactly how the teeth are designed on our piece. They will fit down just perfectly. And so the reason I didn't put glue on these is because it's a much easier process to just run glue along the middle of this kind of cap, I guess, to the track. We can call it that, right? Whoops, I hit my, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. This is a big bottle and it smacks the camera. And this tiny little piece here, I will also run glue along that and all around this edge just to make sure I have enough. Bring this back on view. And then be a little gentle with it, but you wiggle these pieces down on top of the track that you've put there, and they snap in. They snap into place. And make sure the adhesive is good. And there's a great connection between the two chipboard pieces. And you're just one piece away from having a roloDEX tray that can then accept all kinds of things. So you can, if you have a punch to make roloDEX insert cuts, you can use that, and you can punch things that will fit in this. It is a standard roloDEX card sized tray. There are tons and tons of cards designed for and at UmWowStudio. Different shapes, different sizes, some with tabs, some with words, some with imagery, and they just fit right down in here. So this is what the completed tray looks like before there's any alteration or decor. You can cover it in paint, you can cover it in paper, you can cover it in a whole bunch of things. But here is a little demonstration of how the cards work. So this is a half size tab, and it comes 4 in a package. And you do purchase the cards separately from the tray unless you're signed up for the live workshop that is in August. The price of that class between Tina Walker and myself actually includes a tray and a bunch of cards, and some other things too. But this comes down here, slides just like a roloDEX, and then it doesn't come out. Look at how cool that is. I'm really proud of this one. This is a rainbow weaving card. These are spines, and they're great to glue things to and build up. Here's like a half circle. And then of course I have standard cards. I have tab cards. There's all kinds of things, but look at how awesome this little 3D tray is. 3D roloDEX tray. And the chipboard, the best part about it is that this chipboard is so super sturdy, and you can seriously just like pile stuff on. Ephemera, collage, paint, metal pieces. In fact, let me show you a quick piece that I just adore. There's also, let's see, there's also a weaving loom that wove this, and there's a button and lots of good stuff. But look at this. Look at how cool this is. This is like an old vintage candle plate, and I dremeled it and stitched it to a base card and then put one of the chipboard moons on it. There's lots and lots and lots of options for these. So we're very excited to see you in the workshop if you're gonna be in the workshop. Otherwise, we're also very excited to see how you interpret your own 3D type roloDEX, and we'll catch you guys on the internet with your awesome roloDEX art. Thank you.